Hi guys, I'm Shmi. Today I'm visiting Jemca Lexus in Reading. I've been taking out the new RC F for a test drive, offered some driving impressions, so make sure you check that out. But now I also want to show you around the car and show you through in detail the interior, take a better look around the outside and just talk all about the new RC F. So of course the car we've got here, I thoroughly enjoyed the drive in it, have to say it exceeded my expectations. It's a very aggressive new sort of style to the design, wide arches, very flared design. Come in and look at the headlights, for example. You've got this two-piece setup. You've got the normal headlight in the top part that swoops out from this point out towards and around the edge, and you've got this LED running light shape around the lower section. All sorts of shapes and different bits and bobs going on up there. You've got these very big vents down at the base. You sort of have this aggressive front leading edge down at the bottom, and the grille bulges out here by the Lexus badge where you've got the adaptive infrared cruise control setup, and this new sort of grille design with the very angular aggressive look to it, number plate mounted on top of the grille there, but you can see all the cooling coming in through this front grille area. Looks good with the sort of chromey trim around it as well. On the bonnet you've got a vent up there as well, looking very aggressive. You've got the 19-inch wheels. Like this design, lots of spokes, and probably a nightmare to clean, but looks pretty good. F badge, of course, the RCF, and this vent for airflow through and around the sides. Take a look around towards the rear now. You've got a sort of a natural lip spoiler shape to the rear deck lid, but you've also got this spoiler that rises up as well at speed, of course. You can just see it in the rearview mirror when you're driving. Then the rear lights, I mentioned it before, I really like this design. The way it comes around here, down and under the back there, and sort of swoops around. Pretty cool design. And then down at the bottom here, got the tailpipes. Pair on each side, mounted just above and below each other, diagonal layout. Pretty cool, slightly different setup. And you'll notice this sort of wide arch shape here behind the rear wheel, which is just adds to the sort of stance and aggression of the car all around, really. So let's now take a look at the inside. The car is keyless, so we have the Lexus key. Lives in the pocket, of course. You don't need to use it to open the door. You can touch on the inside and it will unlock. There's a button there to press to lock it again after. So pull it open, the door mirrors unfold automatically and then will refold when we lock it up. Inside, 2+2, very comfortable side bolstered front seats. Take a seat in a moment. We've also got the rear as well, of course, back here. Lever here on the seat to pull it forwards. 2+2, so you can fit people in the back. Not the most space in the world. As I pulled it forward, it's automatically sliding forwards as well. If I lean it back, presumably it will automatically return. So as we get in, also has comfort access as well as the seat moving like that on the steering wheel. So as I close the door, actually maybe it's when you power it up, the steering wheel moves out towards you back into the normal position. Well, let's take a look around. It's very bright and sunny right now. Seats are trimmed with lots of this nice contrast stitching, very aggressive design. You see very strong side bolsters and on the base as well. The F embossed there on the headrest, these sort of metal pieces too, all adding to the sort of aggression and look of the design. Across the dashboard you've got this very aggressive leading edge, reminiscent to me of the LFA, of course. Shouts sporting. But the car is loaded with technology, and you probably already can see there are lots and lots of buttons in here to show you what they do. The first one I'm going to go for, the start button, is up here. Obviously foot on the brake. So the wheel move into place and the dials come up. I love this graphic we've got here, the RCF front end coming on. So on the seats, we'll start with those. We've got the memory seat controls up here. Obviously we've got the electronic seat moving position buttons along the side down here. Along with that we've also got air-cooled seats and heated seats. Let's see if I can zoom in past the light so you can see that. Driver and passenger, of course. Pretty comfortable. Gear stick, nice small little piece. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. Knock over to the right to go into the manual settings. And then on the left here, this is quite cool. This style takes you, if you turn it right once to Sport, right again to Sport Plus, or you can go left anytime to Eco, and you can push it to go into normal. So if I just show you what the dials do, This is the standard dial setup that you have in the car. So from top left, you've got the outside temperature, 8 degrees right now. Then you've got the oil and water temperatures, fuel gauge, of course. Underneath in this whole left section, we've got this menu I'm going to go through in a moment. In the center, we've got the rev counter. You can see standard design, and it tells us in the bottom corner the TVD, the torque vectoring differential, and the drive modes are standard and normal respectively. Then over to the right, we've got the speedometer. So if I turn that dial I mentioned before down here once to go into sport mode, you can see that Sport S is selected. The dials change, so we have the white rev counter all the way up with yellow numbers. And then if I turn it one more to Sport Plus, we have a new look with the temperatures brought into the center and yeah, set up for racing. So as well as obviously seeing the screens change, what else is changing under the hood is obviously the engine and gearbox settings are being changed and reconfigured for the different driving modes, and you also have the power steering setup changing too. Now if we press normal, it will revert, but I won't do that right this second. We have this button here, TVD, torque vectoring differential. This is a £3,500 option, although it's included in the RCF carbon car. And if I press that button once, you'll see it goes into slalom mode, once more into track mode. What that's doing, of course, is powering up the outside wheel at the rear around corners, just pulling you through corners with a little bit more force and grip. Alongside that, we've got the traction control button and we've got a snow button. So let's just pop it back into normal. One press off the button, you'll see the screens change. And then let's go to Eco. Everything goes very blue. Blue seems to be the colour for economical things. It sort of, I assume, sets the gearbox so it's the maximum efficiency it can possibly provide. Always in the highest gear numbers and the like. So looking around, we've obviously got our light stalk, wiper stalk on this side, cruise control down here. We've also got adaptive cruise control, so one press of this button, if we were moving along, would obviously set our distance based on the car in front. This jog dial controls that left part of the screen we're going to get to in a moment, reverts us to home, takes us back. Lane guidance, standard on the car. Obviously if you start drifting over the white lines outside, it will ping up and with a chime let you know what's going on, so you don't miss that. We've got the phone controls. Haven't played obviously with the Bluetooth, but they're all set there, and then volume and media controls as you'd expect. Nice silver paddles on the back, good feel to them, like how a sort of shape again, sort of similar to the outside designs with lots of swoops going on, I guess. Very similar to the LFA paddles. Now we've got the air vents that all go along the central piece of the dashboard with the analog clock in the center. I think that's a pretty cool touch. And on the mirror you can see there's some lane guidance, which is a button controlled down here. Blind spot monitoring, sorry, not lane guidance, excuse me, I said the wrong thing. We've also got the lights and control, the manual button to raise the spoiler, and parking sensors and the like, and then our trip settings up here. So we'll just come and look here. Aircon, everything you would more or less expect. We've got this dial here, which is a touch sensitive control for doing temperature, and it also shows on the navigation screen there as well, which is cool. Nice little thing. And we've got media stuff you'd expect, all the aircon controls you'd expect, dual zone or single, on or off, temperature, fan speed, higher or lower. The car that we're in, £61,000 base price, comes with the Mark Levinson hi-fi system. So it has some very good audio as a result. £68,000 gets you the carbon edition with extra carbon fibre roof, mirrors and that sort of thing. Now let's just take a look in the armrest, which is a nicely finished piece. We've got the iPod and the auxiliary socket, and also the cigarette power. Quick look. Doors have these sort of two parts to them for the door storage, and if I open the glove box, manuals and the like, with this nice trim piece all around on the doors and the glove box part there. So let's get to the navigation system, because this is quite cool. It's all controlled via this input, which is like a touchpad, a bit like a computer mouse, if you will. You've got home. If you press home at any point, it brings you to this dual view where you can have your music on the left and the navigation on the right. It's quite a small screen, just 7 inches, but it's quite effective from my experience. We'll press menu, which takes us all the way to the home screen, and you can see if I move around using the touchpad, which has some haptic feedback, so it vibrates as I go, you can see us going through the various different modes and settings. We've got audio, climate control, navigation, telephone, display, setup, car, info. If we go into car, I quite like this actually, you've got the different economies from recent drives, and you can see my drive today has actually been the most economical so far. Let's go back. Everything's pretty much what you'd expect. Navigation, loads of full screen view. Excuse the camera there, not focusing properly. It's very easy to use, haven't struggled at all. And then, like I say, if I press the home button, it jumps back to that dual view. DAB radio, sounds pretty good from listening to it too. We've obviously, just trying to think what else to show you. You've got the dual cup holders here. The park brake on the car is actually a pedal here on the left. So you press once to engage it and it holds down, press and release and it comes back up to release it. Just pedal and brake, of course. We've got the 8-speed automatic gearbox, but it's pretty comfortable. The seats in here are not bad at all, and I like this rear view mirror as well. The mirror is almost sort of all the way around. There's no edge to it, or an invisible edge to it, which is a nice touch. And then the lights up here are touch sensitive to enable them as well. Not sure if you saw all of that entirely properly, but does the job pretty well. Yeah, so pretty comfortable, and there aren't very many options you can have in this car. So on top of those £61,000, £68,000 price tags, you can opt for a sunroof, the adaptive cruise control that this car has here, torque vectoring differential, that's an option, and metallic paint is the only other. So there's not much to have to worry about on the spec list. While we're warm, let's just put it in the Sport Plus mode and hear it a little bit. Pretty fruity, hey? Doesn't sound bad at all. 5-litre V8, 471 brake horsepower. Let's switch that off. Just have a quick look at the engine while we're here. Let's release that down here. Release the hood. Now's that difficult moment of trying to find the catch, which is always in a different place in every car you look at. There we go. Now that's cool, seeing the colour from the outside, the azure blue, matching through on the engine and also around the F there as well. You see the different parts all through. That's actually really nice, I wasn't expecting that. Just having a bit of the exterior colour on the inside of the car. The RCF is also available in the Polar Silver, but the blue, I think, gets my choice. Awesome looking car. Yeah, so just coming around, I'll show you in the boot quickly. Decent boot on the car. No shortage of luggage space back there. Handle to pull it down. And there's of course a rear view camera there. Didn't show you that inside. I think it only comes up if you put it in reverse. So the RCF, let's say from my drive, I really quite enjoyed it. I quite like the car a lot. I mean, it is pricey, no question about that, at near on £70,000, but it's one of those cars that has an aggression and stance to it and look without sort of being too shouty. Just need to go and experience what it's like pushing it a little bit closer to 10/10ths. So yeah, there we go, a look around the exterior and the interior of the Lexus RCF here at Jemca Lexus in Reading. I'll pop in the links down below to their social media channels. A big thanks to them for allowing me to come along, have a look at the car, and of course take it out for a drive. So make sure you check out that video too, see some more thoughts on what it's like in the real world driving the RCF. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers. So let's get underway. We've got 8-speed gearbox, and then we're going to go inside for that one, the Mantis Green new Shmee-mobile 6.